Hello everybody and welcome back to Ace Attorney. We should be finishing up case 5 in the first game, so let's see if we can figure this out. Figure out the reason and the motivation for who really killed Detective Goodman. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know that what I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, you'll always be my sister. Aww. Then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Alright, Lana. Lay it on me, lady. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I arranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Oh, really? Why don't I believe you? Are you sure about this testimony?
Why must you stream during Overwatch League time?
I'm sorry, kitty. Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure. But Lana... If it's true, then that means Chief Grant has nothing to do with this. Let's see. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you gotta help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. She's my own sister. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing. Defense may begin its cross-examination. Alright, let's press everything here. How long were these years? How many years exactly would you say? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years? Chief Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must be good at coming... She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There is no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And? I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Didn't you do that to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that accident to ruin her life. But what she did was a justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Anna. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. How? You would have needed a lot more upper body strength to lift the two bodies of 2 grown men and a girl who is in her early teens. I would think you would need some help. It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamt was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize as you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover her lies with more lies. Oh, just protect me. So, when you found this scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is all what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke the tip of Dark's knife and planted it inside the room, then moved the body. Press this one in particular. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the body. Then how did you move the body? But why would you do that? All of your people should know, Edgeworth. You always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ask for the sake of the others. Why did I plant the knife, or why did I move the body? Yeah, why move the body exactly? When you showed up to the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? Where you detected was by the chief's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason this guy moved the body.
Hi.
Hi. What's going on? Muffin! Pieces of the jar that shattered during the event threatened my plan. Wait. The pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes. That wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime. I just felt it would be more to bleed to move the body. Okay. So, when you found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered into pieces. If you had looked at the crime scene, it would have been clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead. Dark was laying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during the struggle. Wait. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered when the crime was committed. But I have a feeling that there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Wait. No, I didn't mean to press that one again. I meant to present something. Okay, I'm putting my left hand on the other behind my back so I don't press it on accident again. There we go. Now let's present this jar. Actually, let's read this. Rules for submitting evidence. 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. 2. An unregistered evidence present must be relevant to the case on trial. It wouldn't have been broken because we made it, we wrote down Emma's name on it because that's what the victim left before he actually passed away. So I'm gonna say present this. This guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery of the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events frightened my plan." That's right. You have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write the message on the jar, it must have not yet been broken before he died. Ah! He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order! Order! Sorry about hitting the mic, everybody. Your Honor, it would appear that more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We might be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor? It seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive to the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue your testimony. Okay. Oh, on it. The jar and the message in blood. Okay. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But I was in the But I was in the dark in the but I was in the dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got all of them. I could only think about all I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you're the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't the chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. How did you... So the jar was already broken then. It's a miracle that that thing hadn't broken earlier.
I am on.
Hang on. Let's see here. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. Not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. Okay. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to do it. Hang on. There we go. It was dark in the room, so I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them in the dust.
Hi.
Hi. Well, I don't say yes. What's going on?
Nothing much.
It's okay.
No. I don't want to fucking die. Please.
Yeah. I can see that's the case. Come on. Yeah.
I'm right now trying to not die from a fucking bunker.
Oof.
Salvador.
Salvador.
Through Vault Hunter mode.
Lana, you do that for me? It seems like you two might make up yet.
I'm fighting the bunker. The bunker. The bunker! The bunker!
I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose the chance to erase evidence.
Yeet.
You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the
And
evidence.
it's so uncanny hearing Jack's voice as, Salvador.
That's weird.
So he shouts back from the dead, pendejos.
This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean, Judge? Come on.
Listen, Judge is the yabba dipshit. We've already established this.
I know. If you really fought Dark-Hilled Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana?
You would have just...
I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm pretty sure I got them all. I'm not gonna press that one.
Shut up, Brick. I don't need you right now. Please leave me alone. Brick's just shouting at the top of his lungs.
Actually, maybe I'll press it.
Water fire! Shut the fuck up, Brick.
But how could you have seen with the power out? It would have been pitch black in the office. A detective always is prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. I even carry a bottle of liquid of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
God fucking damn it.
Did you really? Wait. Wait. Can I look at the jar again? Final fragment was found in the safe. Emma was written on the surface in blood. Wait, I don't think you did get every piece of it, because if that was the case, then why would your chief happen to have a fragment of the jar in his safe? Hi there, Miss Sky. I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final...
running the middle tree on all of Gunzerker is so fun.
Nice. We found the final piece of this jar in the chief's safe. The chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation.
She wasn't there first.
On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant was there before you. But could the defendant have simply missed a piece? Did she? I don't know. I'm afraid that's unlikely.
She might be a dumbass, but...
The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may be well, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that?
Old man, this is why they need to retire this guy.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There was no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying that this person was the chief at the time he was looking at the dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was the first there, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive at the scene first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Okay. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No.
Oh shit.
What?
I just thought about it. The judge is in deep with the chief.
Probably. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question.
Bitch empty.
What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence? But why would the chief do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. Ugh. Oh my gosh, she just bit her thumb and she started bleeding. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop protecting the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. I didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says.
If Emma's willing to accept the fact that she murdered someone, she is actually showing more honor
than her sister.
Than you.
The defense attorneys make up their most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Judge! Wait a minute. What if there was still a smack dab in the middle of Gamp's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, you may be right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So, you do tell fellow lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please, testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness will testify once more for the final time. Nice. Okay, the actual crime scene. Tell us. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw that happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had the chief help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it really was all fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable, the body was impaled on this armor's sword. You were the only person who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Wait, you have proof of it? I just gave it to you, Mr. Wright, I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me?
The book.
It's a picture I took at the crime scene when I encountered it. Yes, probably it's in the book somewhere. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember her seeing a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Aww. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I'm gonna save just in case.
It is probably the book, though. Seems like the most logical place to hide it, because no doubt.
That was the thing that she gave me last from Gumshoe.
Yeah, that's probably what Gumshoe, because that'd be the only way Gumshoe could hide it.
Sure. I don't remember.
She could only hide it that way.
Mama said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Then check the evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
It's a book. It's like literally just a picture frame. It says, "Look at this giraffe."
Look at this giraffe. Oh my gosh, I love the little evidence log cover. It's so cute. It's
yeah,
a little
no, it's
chick.
cute.
It's a little chick wearing a Sherlock Holmes hat.
I am having so much fun trying to do this fight. It's a literal pain in my fucking ass.
There it is. Oh yeah, she said she did carry a light and a camera with her even then, so she has a picture of him impaled on the armor. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective solved the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Mr. Wright, that picture cuts out from his vest. Could that be the cloth that we found inside the chief's safe? What is this? So, this is a handprint, isn't it?
I believe there's an ammo locker.
That cloth, it had fingerprints on it.
I'm too busy trying not to fucking die here, this stupid ass bunker.
Must have been the real murderer. What? But how could those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. As long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. I'm gonna have to clean my glasses because, oh my gosh, these things are filthy. They're all smeared.
I noticed how Pony typed in "notice me, Mario." I'm not your senpai. That is so weird for me to have to say. The last thing you want is me to be your senpai. For the love of God.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on a sword. Hold it. Oh my gosh, the chief's here. Come now.
I'm closing my phone before I punch it.
Okay? Chief. What? Do you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
No. You're not allowed.
I'm afraid it's too late for that. Oh, thank you, Edgeworth. What? You already declined to testify. That means you'd forfeit the right to make statements of any sort. It looks like he's gonna try choking himself. This must mean that risk that we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck.
Was that the Edgeworth, or was that Edgeworth to the police?
That was Edgeworth saying that to the chief about the noose tightening.
I mean, it's true. He is forging evidence, but
True.
I don't think it's a punishable crime by death.
So
I mean, it's a lifetime in prison, and then Big Bubba's gonna make his asshole gaseous.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. If I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone else does. Someone? So, what's your excuse,
Somebody
Wright?
once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Why have you
She was looking kind of dumb with the finger in her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years stop coming and they don't stop coming. That tool rolls and I hit the ground running. The 4 5 range is not get it done. Let's see, so what's wrong with taking back streets?
Do you have something to show us, right? Something that proves I knocked over Neil Marshall causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
I love how this turned into like a live stream from like us just wanting to watch this live stream to us just commentating over it, and I feel so bad.
Well, no, I usually comment. I'm usually one of the few people who comment because I'm usually there during her live streams.
Yeah, I kinda asked if I could come watch it when she was finishing her last few bit of games, so.
If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to make it out. Is sure to be made out as a murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one opening before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I'd be better to think this through carefully. I can't afford to make a wrong decision. Okay, it sounds like the perfect time for a just-in-case save.
I mean, yeah.
Should I
Do I
present
want
that
to
piece
use
of
the
evidence?
slag kit? Do I want to? Oh
The
shit.
one that shows who really killed Mr. Marshall?
Okay. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Okay.
That seems to be my response for a lot of things.
I'm going to not show it because honestly, I don't want to get her in trouble. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence that I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant? You opened my safe. You took what was inside. The conclusive
Stuff
evidence.
that you...
I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Because
Oh, I see, because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints were on it, that's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture.
Look at this giraffe.
See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it has been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Oh no. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't even think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What, you mean you admit it? You admit to it. I was the first person to arrive at the scene that day. Then it occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame laid with her sister, that is when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move it across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dirt convicted. When I tampered with the scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. The 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items that were in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it was always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you calculated that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make a police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most eligible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, then what's that to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh, some people don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I keep 1 more item for insurance. You mean this piece of cloth? Come on, Wright, I'll cough it up already. I know you have it. Oh boy, I'm scared. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So, you admitted then, Chief Gant. You were hiding the cloth you cut off from the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have it. I didn't want to have to do that being the chief and all. But it's a lot better than being betrayed as a murderer. Alright, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have showed it before it was too late. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, the victory is mine. And oh, okay, good. I can save. I'm slaving in slot free. Should I show the evidence? I guess I have to show it so that way I don't have my legs pulled. I guess I'll show. Your Honor, I do have the evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered the prosecutor marshal. Allow me to verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at least you finally brought it out in the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on this letter. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could have not have been forged? It must be offensive conclusive evidence. Oh, You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What?
Remember, babe, speak normally, because this guy's gonna
I'm
make me want to punch my
trying!
phone.
I'm trying! Think about it, right? Had all this time to present this evidence, yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever's fingerprints it might belong to the real murderer. Let's see. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to is... I gotta tell the truth. Emma? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh! You really are something, Righto. I knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did show Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you, you monster! Miss Sky. You knew whose fingerprints all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over. But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. I purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious... You can consider this evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted.
I am so happy.
Why?
My parents just got a Nintendo Switch.
Yay!
I've owned one for a while.
I'll have your badge, boy.
There's not a lot of games with it at the moment.
True. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Can you invite me? I'm going after. I just have to
Okay. Aren't you gonna tell it how? Are you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be one of the most single-handed turned into a. How you are the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Dots. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that?
Greeny meanie. Is that seriously a challenge? It's seriously a challenge! Yay!
Oh my god.
Greeny meanie. Oh my lord.
Nice. Who
I
really
love
killed
it.
Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gunn, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? No. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction?
Please res me pyrolated.
What is this fool babbling about? About a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr.
Badass
Wright, this piece of
warlorders.
cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends now.
You gotta
Behold,
save up.
the piece of The piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. I'm gonna look at this photo here.
Just look at the walkthrough.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Wait, it's the blood spattered even where the part of his vest would have been covered. That doesn't make much sense. I'm presenting this. What exactly is this supposed to be? This picture Miss Sky took. Take a look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all that blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His vest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured from out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth
states a handprint.
Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah!
Got you, bitch.
See, Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth. There's no doubt about that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely was hit on his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armored sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said the person proceed to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that then they broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out the bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Although, that very act of creating insurance only proved that you were the actual murderer.
Got him. Got him.
Yes, it's finally all over. It's all finally over. Objection!
Shut your bitch ass.
What? Did he seriously object? Oh, that was close, Rhino. You almost had me. What? I'm sorry, but you can't have... I gotta have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth, it was illegal evidence. Order, order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict the suspect. Remember, earlier, Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright? Do you have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence to present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present the evidence. In that moment, this piece of cloth is to be the legal evidence. But that's not fair! Did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like I'll have the last laugh on you, son. Man. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems... at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright? Do you admit to it? Can you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Wait, I'm looking at the laws. I'm looking at the law again. The evidence law. No evidence should be shown without the proof of the police wrote to. The unregistered evidence presented.
God fucking damn it.
Must be relevant. Oh, it is technically relevant. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police, but this is a kicker. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. So I'm gonna say no, I did not illegally conceal this. I admit, refuses to present it on that one point. Oh, so the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It is not that I didn't present the It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't?
It wasn't. It's gotta be relevant, my boy.
There is certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let's settle this once for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. Can you prove that what your conduct was not a violation in the law? Then do so now. Here.
Welcome.
Take this book and read it out loud, Judge. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, that point in time was a mere piece of cloth and nothing more. What? You see, written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying I did not have the approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... I'm sorry, but can you recall what this picture presented? That's shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
Gotta kill Foreman Rusty. I'm sorry, Rusty, my dude, but I gotta kill you.
The person
doing it
who
for a
gave it
job.
value as evidence was you, Damon. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, You personally cut a piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes. You, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
So, therefore...
The only person who could have cut the vest from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there was only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you! No. Oh, he's laughing maniacally. Somebody put this man in the padded room.
No, just put him in the chair. Bitch deserves the chair.
I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. 2 years he's been slipping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day. Instead, he insisted on honing it on me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star and then convinced Bruce Goodman. Bruce Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If that evidence is transferred, I lose my only chance of finding out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jacob Marshall didn't know when to quit. So, he stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room, and then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Please, can't you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't just transfer the evidence out. There's too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and he was taking the evidence out. He said, "It's not too late. I'm gonna hand this all over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken back by his words. I had a feeling when he came to see me, I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. So doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. And then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke her trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this?
Obama hugs too much. That's seriously someone's name.
I need to see this name. I need to see
Give
this
me a
name.
second. I gotta join the game and tell him that I love his name.
Okay. Well, she had much to lose if she didn't. If the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was
just got an awkward. I just got an awkward stare. He was just staring at me.
It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. They even I gotta hand it to them. They did their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence does not hold up very well upon close examination. You mustn't have known that. Tell me, Worthy.
Loot loader. It's a loot loader.
Okay. Why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. No, we're not. No, you and Edgeworth are not the same, dude. Don't you dare.
Don't bring my boy Edgeworth into this, you greasy son of a bitch.
You giant flaming Cheeto puff.
No, that's insult to cheesy poofs.
He's so orange. It doesn't even look natural. It doesn't even look like a typical spray tan. It just kind of looks like he covered himself in harvest chips.
Donald Trump, a man dipped in Cheeto dust.
With totally gray hair. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring down once you tried to go in it alone.
Dude, you stole all my ammo. I think he's a little pissed that I loved his name.
Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I don't want to go on a lunch date with a murderer. I'm sorry too, Damon. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example of others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't
one
worry.
night, yeah, one more time. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sound of clapping, or something I couldn't see that time. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, they haven't again betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. And that I've done all I've done in those past 2 years, from the time I had Gamp help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all of your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, You might just make it to the top. She's smiling! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I now know how much of your ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examination is in order for all of us. Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor? You're innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the act you still act in as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. There is something amusing about all this. Why are you smiling? It's been so long, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Aww. I want to
Mr. Matters. B1111111111111111111.
So many ones.
Please join your game.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already.
God damn it,
Regarding
Matters.
the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky, not guilty! Yay! That is all. This court is adjourned.
I'm retard clapping.
Dang it. Let's see here.
My mom called me special. I don't know who it is.
At long last, it's finally over. Emma! Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted of a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. It's just after the trial ended. I could see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Even though she treated you like shit
too,
half of the
Edgeworth.
time.
You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Hey,
Aw.
what's up,
Oh,
my Deuterinos?
I guess I am.
Me.
I'll come back later. Oh, Gumshoe, wait. Wait, Detective Gumshoe,
Hello, my
what is
fellow Deuterinos.
it? Aw.
How diddly doodly.
What are you doing this on purpose, making a
Demon.
detective run around while on duty?
Rolling
off the
around
call
at the
here.
speed of fast.
I just see half your reload heroes again. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? No, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to meet someone, or see someone. Her sister, Lana!
Lana Del Rey. Well, you
Summertime
still love
sun.
me when I'm no longer young and beautiful.
Should you be
This
doing
is how I sing, gentlemen.
She's under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Aw, Gumshoe. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I've ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis.
Oh, King Mong. Hi there.
I asked Aunt to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong.
Killing King Mong.
After that day.
I'm fighting a thing called King Mong.
Ooh, nice. I had to. It was the only
And
way
he
I
is
could make it through
dead.
the past 2 years.
So much iridium.
Nice. I knew how much
damn
I
it.
was hurting you by distancing myself.
Insight.
I
Is that
couldn't bring
this
myself to tell you
one's-
what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma. I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of
If
course.
you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Happy and you know it, clap your
You know,
hands.
sis. I always knew that one day you'd come
If you've
back.
got a teammate called Bum Bum Hugs Too Much, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Okay. I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Aww. Oh, Emma. Emma.
Okay, guys, get a room, calm down.
Hugs! No one can change
Okay.
the past.
But
The
I'm
only-
saying this in like a sexual way, because
I know.
she's like, oh, Emma. Ugh.
The only
Like,
thing we can do is try to
Alabama,
make a
Sweet Home Alabama intensifies.
Wrong state. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching these two sisters make up. Mr. Wright? Mr. Gumshoe? Me? Thank you both for all you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth?
Edgeworth is... I
Stop.
think he said he was resigning.
Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding? He was hiding under the couch.
He was
I don't
hiding
know.
in a bush.
A bush that just happens to be in the courthouse.
Listen, you ever seen those bushes before?
Oh yes, the very rare corn shrubs. I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Aw. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. Oh, it's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize that today I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same.
Caustic Goliath.
One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go in alone.
Time to confiscate!
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime, on my own, I'll need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
Obama hugs too much is getting revived. Da 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 da.
Who knows?
I just can't get over that name.
Nice. Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like the chief did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to crime fighting. But they both made the same mistake.
Forging.
You said, in order to fight crime of my own, you'll need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? What? Oh, yeah. What is this,
I like
pop
him,
quiz?
he's like, huh, what?
At the end of that, he's like, what is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana is talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither I or Edgeworth would have been able to find on our own. I don't know what I should present. Should I present in the book?
Watch this have no meaning at all. I'm stuck, I'm goddamn stuck. Oh, threshers, there's threshers, I'm gonna fucking die. God fucking damn it.
Hang on a second.
You're like, I'm looking at the walkthrough.
Yeah. Present the evidence list.
Midget Berserker. I love that.
wish I could save in case, but I'm just gonna give him the evidence book. That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it does anything with our partnership, huh? Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence.
Oof.
It's time for me to go.
Country road, let's go. It's a me.
If you'll excuse me. There's still some loose ends I need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can't let what happened kill the prosecutor and you, or you can never let it help you to grow. Hi, person, in the end, it's up to you.
In the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all.
I know, it seems I owe you a thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth.
I'm out of grenades. God damn it.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Hey, Tim. Farewell.
Tim, I'm being butt raped. Help.
I better get going too. Okay. But I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, take this as a little something for you. A scientific investigation?
Can't help you with that one, Jared.
It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
I don't know how long a scientific investigator takes schooling-wise.
I don't know either. And so another case.
But I would think it would
require,
if anything, I would think it would require more on-the-job training.
Yeah. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith in their lives. That their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started a new journey on my own.
Yeah.
A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to resolve about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see. Mr. Wright here is the one who's been footing the bill. Wait, you put it on my tab, Edgeworth? What do you think? I could afford that with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
You're my millionth customer. Don't let it go to your head.
I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we go and pay it off together? Yeah, great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection?
But we aren't in court. Who's saying objection?
Phoenix at the end. And now it's the credits. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she's pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find myself getting back into the field. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma.
Well, Emma might be. I think now it's next game.
Yep. The next game will be Justice for All. I'm just gonna let the credits roll through right now.
It's time already? Yeah, can you shot him in the back?
Okay. It's better. Ooh, tea. Thanks, bellboy dude. What's going on?
Time to confiscate!
Uh-huh. Okay. What's going on in here?
Just playing Borderlands.
Nice.
Fighting Mortar.
I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thanks to you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Lana Del Rey. Will you still love me when I'm your daughter?
Oh, I gotta... Oh, I can open it. Okay. There's an envelope. Aww.
Probably should buy ammo.
Aww. That's so adorable. Nice. Well, that's it for the first Ace Attorney game. Next time I open up the trilogy again, we will start with Justice for All.
It's the Juggernaut! I'm the Juggernaut,
And Trials
bitch.
and Tribulations will be interesting because I don't know anything about that game. I do know a little bit more about Justice for All, though.
Yeet.
So, see you guys next time.